Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Tony with Haps Guitar Parlor, and I hope everybody's had a great week or weekend whenever you're watching this. And today I want to do something that should be relatively simple. In theory, it's simple, and that is I'm going to attempt to replace the neck plate on this T-style guitar that I have. We did in the first video, we replaced the input jack with a better input jack. This is just a neck plate, and the only difference is the one on the guitar is blank or there's nothing on it. And this one says Haps Guitar Parlor and established in 2001, which is when I started working and doing some guitar sales and so forth, and also working on them. And so anyway, we're going to do this today. I've only got a couple things here: a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, a string winder, and a little bit of tape. Now hopefully we've got everything that is needed. The first thing that I will tell you that needs to happen, step one, is you're going to need to loosen these strings. And these have locking tuners, so that's a big help. If you don't take the tension off the strings, then when you pull this neck apart at the back of the guitar, you're going to have pressure on the neck and the body, and possibly once you start removing the top or the bottom screws and you start those out, then the neck will possibly come apart from the body, and because there's force on it. There's a lot of force or pressure on these strings when they're tightened down, probably more than most people realize. So we'll get them relatively loose. I brought this tuner and thought I would use it, and I'm not doing that as much, but it would be one of the things you would typically use. So I've got them loose enough that the pressure's not on them. I'm going to try to get this guitar where you can see it in the camera angle, and it will work for me and you both. Now the best way to do this, really, and I'm going to have to angle this camera up a little bit. For me, the best way to do it would be to stand the guitar up on the end pin. And I know that I am not getting this camera like it should be, but I'm going to try, hopefully. Okay, there we go. Stand it on the end pin, and take these out and hold this together. And you could, in theory, lay the guitar down. I have these little blocks that I use sometimes to help keep the guitar from laying, even on this little makeshift pad that I have, to keep something that may have fallen on this this little foam pad that I have, to keep it from scratching the surface of the guitar if I didn't realize it was there. I try to clean it every time. A good habit to get into is to not use the same pad or cloth when you're soldering, and you go to use, you go back with another guitar or something else. It's best to try to change up, because there's nothing worse than laying down someone's Martin D35 or D28 to change the strings, to do a basic setup, only to realize that there was a giblet or a piece of solder still laying, and that you've scratched that guitar. That's not good. So with that being said, I'm going to try to get this where you can see it, and I put a little bit of tape, just this low tack tape on the neck. Again, hopefully you can see it, just to hold this plate in. Now these screws shouldn't be very tight at all, honestly. All right, we're going to try it this way. And what you would do, I'm going to try laying it down. Normally you would stand it up. I can feel this neck and separating from the guitar, or I could hear it starting. What you don't want to do is have this thing pop out. This neck pocket is tapered, so when they put the neck in, typically this neck should fit in this slot very good. The better the fit, and it's not cut. It's cut at an angle or at a taper. So when it goes in, you actually put the back of this neck in first and slide it in very carefully. And it's made that way so that Of course, the neck and the body joints stay together as well as possible. These screws, this is not hard, this is not a hard project, but not everybody knows how to do this. Not everybody has had this experience, and I've taken a few of them apart in my time. And so one of the things I will also mention to you, I'm not sure with this one, we'll have to see when we get them out, is sometimes you're going to find out, depending on the neck and the neck pocket, how deep it is, that your top screws are different lengths than your bottom screws. And that is because of the depth of the pocket and the thickness of the actual guitar body. So you have to be careful of that. I already know, I usually try to lay my screws out, how I take them out of the body if I'm not leaving them out for an extended amount of time. Again, I can already tell you that this body, okay, so the screws are from the bottom and the top, they are the same length. So we don't have that different length situation. And I'm using my left hand, just keeping this body together. And I have one more screw that is still there. I'm making sure, again, my strings are loose, everything. Let me see if I can get this up here. I'm trying to get, I know I seem like I'm in the way more than I'm not. And I'm going to use my blocks to help support this neck and the body a little bit there, and hopefully you can see it. And I apologize for this. This is one of those situations where you wished you had another camera to do a different angle for you. But this is what we've got tonight, so this is what we're going to do. And I'm trying to speed this up and speed it along. Again, not everybody knows how to do this, and so maybe it'll help somebody else. Basically, you want to make sure that your screws and the holes that are already in the neck plate, or that the neck plate is the same, because not all neck plates are the same. And I double checked that before I ordered it to make sure that it would fit, and it will fit. This neck plate will fit American Strat. Now, let me double check these screws. So one of my back screws of the back of this screw is longer. This screw is longer than one of the front ones by just a little bit. So we want to make sure, and the way this is tapered, you want to make sure that you put them back. So 3 of them are the same length, and 1 is longer. So I'm not sure if that's what they had at the time, or what somebody picked up when they were assembling the guitar, or what. So now I have it off. I have the neck plate off, the tape, and then just going to make sure that I've got this back the way that it goes, and it's lining up perfectly with the holes that I have. Now the neck is staying in there, it's staying in, so that tells me, because it's not coming apart, this neck pocket is cut well. The neck and the neck pocket join together very well. And so what I'm going to do is align these screws. Again, I know where the longer one came from. I can tell you because I took it out. And I'm just going to put these back in. And once I have these back in, then I'm basically just making sure that they're snug and that everything fits well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this for a minute, and then I'll come back when we get closer to having it done, so you don't have to sit and endure it all. So I have the screws back in, and I have a little small, very low, slow cordless screwdriver that I use. I know some people say don't do that. If you know what you're doing, I think it's okay, but you need to be careful with it. The other thing too that I did was I got this, this is called flight rail lube, and it's actually used for like compound bow or whatever, but it's wax. That's all it is a wax. And I put a little bit on the tip of each one of these screws because it makes it go into the body a lot easier, and it's quicker going in. It gives a little bit of lubricant for the screws to go in as well. So all I'm doing is taking the screwdriver now and going back through these screws and making sure that they're in the holes like they're supposed to be and aligned. Now I am noticing that with this one screw here and here, they both look like they're running uphill. And I did not notice that with the other neck plate. So I'm going to check it out and see. Let me show you if I can. Again, the camera's up high. I noticed that this screw looks like it's running at an angle, and possibly that one looks like the top one looks like it's running at an angle. And I'll double check those because you don't want them sticking out. This neck plate has a bevel, and I felt this one does too. And you want them to set flush so you're not running your hand over them and everything. So that's the basics of how you do it. That's how you change it out. And then you tighten make sure that the 4 bolts are equally tight. You're not building a space shuttle or anything. So just tighten those 4 bolts back up and then tune the guitar back just like you normally would. We've not taken the strings off or had to remove those, so we haven't wasted a set of strings, but we did do a simple upgrade. So I do appreciate you guys watching. This is just as new for me as it might be for you that are watching, as far as because I am new at this, but as new as far as filming it for myself. But I hope you do get something from it and you enjoy it. If nothing else, you found it entertaining, and I pray that you're blessed today and there's joy and peace in your life. So thank you very much. Have a good evening or morning whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next one.